What? Edit paused. At least. No. What? See if that works. Ooh. Let's get this all set up. Chat's going. Square Peg Makes Games. Hello. It's good to see you again, dude. You you label? Add a label to this mesh as actor or component. Try that out. Let's put some music on. YouTube's going to tell me off, but why don't we do it anyway? What I'll do is I'll connect my headphones. I don't think I have to connect it to my phone. No. Hopefully, if I've got any luck at all, should be able to just connect my headphones and then we can find some music. But for some reason, they don't seem to be liking me lately. Connected. Right. Let's see if we've got any streaming music. Workout music? No. I just said we were connected. What is going on? mic? Why is the mic? What's going on? I've had no luck today. Might just leave them off. So how is everybody doing on this fine Friday? I'm really glad it's the one. Okay. OBS isn't playing any audio. Properties. There we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine on my end. Right, so we're going to do some mixed reality. Don't need that. Table mesh. I could do this. If I can do this, table mesh, cube. Give this actor a tag, and it's going to be table. I'm just going to try and spawn an actor from class. I don't really have much of a goal for this, but the idea is to just see what we can do with it, and then see if we can build something up. Yeah. We could give it an anchor. It's already got an anchor. So if we can figure out the query space stuff, what we should be able to do is actually get the information from it and then use it as a location so we can actually spawn stuff in. Because these have anchors. So basically what I'm trying to do is spawn an object on the table. So we've got actors in the scene, but we need to get the information from them. And make sure we're using the right ones. The only thing I'm worried about is the MetaXR plugin is a bit of a mess, to be honest. It's a combination of old content, which they're deprecating, and then new stuff. So the idea is to try and track the new stuff as much as possible. Why is it you go onto the documentation for Meta and then nothing comes up? I don't even think this spatial anchor stuff is... I think this is what we need to use. So now that they've changed it, we can't get semantic labels, or at least I can't seem to find them, which is what I did in previous videos. So the idea is to use an anchor actor to then spawn it in. So in my case, I've got a mesh table, and we could use that. But I just want to play around. Spatial data, get anchor component, query result. Split this. It's the same one. What am I doing? I'm going insane. Get anchor component status. What I need to do is create a spatial anchor. Okay. Is the stream working? Can anybody tell me? If anybody can drop my chat and just be like, it's working, you can hear me, that's absolutely great. Only good sir, yes. Awesome, thank you so much. And see you, wicked. Thank you for being a member. So if anybody's in here and you are a member, I'm working on some new content at the minute for you guys. I'm gonna have a post out next week explaining the situation and why it's been a little bit quiet lately. But I'm just gonna get it checked over and make sure that's all good for you guys, and then I'll put a video out. But what we're gonna try and do now is we won't worry too much about that. We're gonna try and set up spatial anchors, and then if we can add spatial anchors to something, it means we can read them from anywhere. Spatial anchors are the one thing I haven't really played around with. So the idea is that the way that they work is we can give an actor a spatial anchor, or we can generate them in the scene, and then we can attach different things to them. So in this case, we could spawn our table, and we could give that an anchor component or a spatial anchor, and then if we spawn something into the scene, we can use that to attach it and then lock stuff in world position, which will be really handy, which we can see here. Thing is, I'm not too sure how we can actually spawn them in, so we're going to look through the documentation, and then we're going to go through and we're going to do exactly that and go from there. So here we can see that we can OctusXR create spatial anchor, and then we can go through and try and set this up, which would be really cool. It's going to be interesting where we're going to store it. Because in my head, if we have a spatial anchor that's on all of the geometry for the room, then we should be able to just pull that in. Really good videos. I'm a beginner. Cool. Cool, so you can turn a window into a portal for zombies. Oh, you can do that really easy. So, if we jump in, what I'm going to do is do a sky. Sky sphere. Drag this in. I'm going to have videos come out how to set all this up properly, so you don't have to worry about following along with this. But you've got something called a cut hole label here. So as long as your meshes for your walls are set up to be fallback to procedural, so procedural meshes, it means you can draw pictures, like picture frames on the walls, or use your window. So let's say we want to cut a hole in this procedural mesh that is built on the wall. So if I go and I make this material hot pink, it should make it a little bit easier because you guys can't see my camera pass through in the editor. So we press play and we jump in, we see that we get my room mapping, which is in there, and once shaders are compiled, we should be able to get in. And then there we go, everything is hot pink, we've got desk, stuff like that. But like I said, I'm going to have videos for setting all of this up for you guys coming out next week. I've already got a couple of them recorded, but I was going mental trying to figure stuff out, so I thought we'd stream it instead. So to cut holes in them, we've got a window, I've got artwork, or I've got an area on the wall that says artwork. We've got our sky. Anything that's pink can basically be our real world. We can actually see what's going on with it. If I remove this material, I see my windows and everything else. So let's say we want to tell the window that we want to cut a hole in it, and that's going to be our physical space, same as our doorway or the wall art. All you're going to do is go to cut hole labels, make one for each, and say here we want wall art, and then we want window frame. Actually, we want window. Is it just window frame? I think it's just window frame. And then whatever else we want. So we've got screen art, wall art, window, and then door frame. So now, if I press play, what's going to happen is we're going to load in the scene data. It's going to create procedural meshes for us into the room. So anything pink comes out as my actual scene and environment. And then what we should get, if it's going to load in, is the pass-through. But now you can see that we don't actually get the holes. It's still pink. So what we can do is we can go down to the door frame, wall art, and window frame. And then in here, the fallback goes to procedural mesh, so it creates one over the top. So we can say no fallback, and then wall art, no fallback, and then door frame, no fallback. So now when we press play, we should be able to drop back in. It'll load up our scene data, and then now I can actually see the game world through both of those. I can actually go up. I was about to try and look through the portal, but I was just hit the wall. So you can see that our door and everything else now actually has the holes in it to do what you need to do. So I'll leave that like it is, but I'm going to do a full tutorial series and show how to set that up and then go with it. When you could set like a mask, there's no mask. It's essentially creating a procedural mesh. I can show you actually. So we go here and do wireframe and load this in. We can actually save it. So now instead of the room being white, we're going to see a wireframe of the meshes. And then we let it load up. So you can see the cutout of what's happening. So what happens is the Mixed Utility Kit actually creates a procedural mesh and then cuts the geometry out of it so we can see how it's connected. So anything in these areas which isn't filled in becomes visible through the camera, and then we can see everything else through it. So if I drop back in now, you can see that I can actually see the room, what we've got, and then we've got where that artwork is, where I've mapped it in the headset So like my post or my door, I can then see everything as it is and go from there. But yeah. Hopefully you like that. Yeah, it's not too difficult to work with. The only thing I've got set up is the labels. We used to be able to get the mixture out of the utility kit and then anchor actor spawner, and then we could get semantic labels. But they don't seem to exist anymore. So that's why I'm trying to figure out how we can spawn actors onto a surface and interact with it that way. Which is where I'm thinking of using this. So when building mixed reality experience, we highly recommend that you elevate your content from a health and safety perspective and offer your users a comfortable and safe experience. Co-location, increase the number of individuals. That's fine. Mixed reality utility kit. For most use cases, consider using the world lock feature in mixed reality utility kit, which uses anchors to facilitate world locking without having to use anchors directly. That's what I want to access. It does this by subtly adjusting the HMD pose of the virtual object appears to the world locked in the physical environment, but you do not need to create or interact with anchors yourself. But I want to. But that's for the tracking. That's done in here. Where are you? Here. That's that. You can use spatial anchors in many ways. For example, you can place virtual signs or real furniture or create spawn points on real windows for virtual characters to fly through. That's what we're looking at. Picture below showcases how to use 4 spatial anchors across various types of content such as virtual toys, decorative plants, and 2D panel media experiences. So they got one on the unit, then they've got one on the one wall, second wall, and then the floor. That's basically what we're trying to do. Use cases and interaction model. Sports and casual games, users can play games like mini golf, scavenger hunt, and obstacle courses in expanded areas like a living room, hallway, or dining room. Action games, adventure games, puzzles, and virtual escape rooms can expand across multiple rooms using entitlement spaces. Cool. How do spatial anchors work? Applications can use one anchor per virtual object. Use one anchor per virtual object. Multiple objects use the same anchor as long as the object is within its coverage area of 3 meters. That's fine. Right. So the wall can have one, the floor can have one, desk can have one, the unit can have one. Pretty much go through that way. Interaction model perspective, there are 2 types of applications: user-driven movement and app narrative movement. Spatial anchor and scene anchor. An application can take advantage of 2 types of anchors: a spatial anchor that are created and owned by the application, remaining private within its context. Developers can create these anchors and placing virtual content in specific positions and locations, or developers can automate this process to enhance co-located local multiplayer sessions. Scene anchors that are created and owned by the system. These types of anchors provide insight into the user's environment, including the position and size of furniture and walls. Applications cannot modify these anchors, but they can access them with the user permission. These anchors are consistent across all apps and operate in the system level. So if we want to access the content in the headset, we need to use the scene anchors. And if we're spawning stuff into the game, let's say guns, posters, or anything like that, it's going to be a spatial anchor, because that's owned by the application. So scene anchor is what we need because we want to get a location that already exists. This is what I was looking for. I thought I didn't have this anymore. Get actors by semantic label. We don't have an XR scene actor. That's the problem. So the target is Oculus XR scene actor. But we don't have that. They don't exist anymore. Because we've got this, but it says deprecated. Scene. So annoying. The documentation is so out of date by the looks of it. Even the old projects, UE5.5, are out of date. I didn't know we had that. That's wicked. I'm so confused on which ones we can still use. It's deprecated. Then we should be using this. Get spawned actors by room. Still goes back to Oculus XR space query. What? label. It's by label. Can we do that? Try. Samus, glad to see you're back in augmented reality. Same. I've got a post coming out that's going to be up on sometime next week explaining why the delay and everything else. But I'm glad to be back into it as well. We're going to take a look, see what we can come up with, do a new series, and then see if we can build something cool with it, which I think will be a lot of fun. So we're just going to play around for a bit and then see what we can come up with, learn some systems, learn some different things that I can kind of cover in depth, and then go through them a little bit easier. So table we should be able to get, and then hopefully do what we did before. So get world location. Actually, can we do? Get. Let's see if I can do that instead of looping through, because I know I've only got one table. Making this up now, get world location. Let's have a look, see what happens now. My room's a little bit laggy. There we go, now it's sorted itself out. Cool. How cool is that? We could do a for each loop and then loop through random. So it can be 3. It starts at 0, doesn't it? So, see, get Let me try the subsystem and find the current. Room we're in. What I'll do is at the end of the stream, I'll zip this up and I'll upload it to Patreon and YouTube members so you guys can download the project files. And then when I've done the series, I'll break it up again, and then I'll do it download for each one. Is anybody in here working on anything fun today? To be able to jump in and do the exact same thing. Make this full screen for you guys. It still didn't spawn. Why? Ooh. But we still got all of that. So, need to figure out why. Again, hello everyone. I'm having a problem with activating mixed immersion style in Apple Vision Pro. You know how to do it in Blueprints. UE5.5 file is also not working. The last time I heard anything about Apple Vision Pro from people using it is you require the source build of Unreal Engine to do anything with it. So that's kind of the first information that we need, is to make sure that you're actually using the source build and to go from there. I don't really have one, so I'm not going to be too much help with that. Is the get random broken, or is it me? Access none. This is showing up none. Table. Okay. When it gets there, I'm just chilling today. Nice. So I thought we'd do this because I finished the GDXR template and I just needed a break from it. I was like, we're gonna do something else. I'm losing my mind, which is really nice. Honest, I wish I gotta get grades done before spring break, but once I get home, I'm gonna have a spring break full of working on this stuff. Nice. Gotta get grades done. Yes. Thanks for the heads up. I was not working with source code. I'll try it. Yeah, literally last time I heard is you've got to use the Unreal Engine source version of whichever one you're working with, and then it should work a little bit better. I'm not too sure how good it is, haven't used it myself, but there's pretty much the only thing I know about the Apple Vision stuff is you do need the Pro, the source build. Let's do XR game together. Oh god, I don't think I have the time. That's the problem. If you mean on stream, I can do that. We can build something. Do that instead. I just realized surface position. I don't know if that's actually getting the top of the table. Do you think XR market is getting smaller? Unfortunately, I don't think I could tell you. I don't really play them all that much. I think the problem with XR is it's quite limited to what you can do. Like, it seems to be really limited to the content you can create. I don't really see a lot of people doing anything new with it. It's either racetracks around your living room and sitting room, shooting zombies coming through your door, that kind of thing. The last time I saw a game that came out, it was Tiny Worlds, something like that. And even then, everyone was like, it's good, but it's not really stand out good. So I'm not entirely sure what you could make with it. I personally don't like doing mixed reality and all that stuff that much. I think it's just too restricting. Investors are not interested with it anymore. Yeah, it's kind of over. I'd rather stick with normal VR. That's what I enjoy more. I think it's a lot more accessible. And you can do a lot more with it. For education stuff, it's really good. Like if you're doing educational apps, you can do a lot with mixed reality and pass-through and stuff like that. But other than that, game-wise, it's not really much you can do, in my opinion. But yeah. If I saw it correctly, you could directly test meta scene stuff directly by HMD play instead of needing a full ABK build. Is that new for 5.5? It's not new for 5.5, but I think they fixed it. So I'm just using the plain editor. I do have I've recorded a tutorial earlier showing how to set it up, but you do need to make sure you've got a meta developer account and that your Oculus Link is set up as a developer. That way you can access the developer runtime features and then do pass-through over MetaQuest Link. So as long as you've got that on, you should be able to do testing VR. It's no, it's more likely to be for advertisement, art, culture kind of stuff. Yeah, like I've got no idea what I would even build for something like this. That's the problem. Like if I build something, it's going to be the same as what's already out there. And that's what kind of makes it suck. Like I can go in there and spawn actors on the windows now. That's got like boarded up and then have them break out. But to create something unique and stand out is a lot more difficult. Like I would really like to be able to make a short mixed reality app that has like zombies that come through the doors and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool to do. I had that all set up, but last time I tried that, maybe like a month or two ago, nothing happened when I tried to use scene stuff like load scene async or such functionality. I'm trying to create a unique pass-through game too. Keen, I'm trying to create a unique pass-through game too. Wicked. I'll make sure in the Discord and then you can drop it in there so we can see it. I don't push the Discord enough apparently. It's got quiet lately. I need more people in there to drop by. And I have no idea why it's not built. It should be finished by now. All I did was scale up a cube and build lighting. What about mixed reality multiplayer with multiple Quest headsets? I don't know. I think you're still quite limited to it. I don't know if it's because, like, if I'm honest, I don't find it mixed reality all that interesting on the game side of things. Like, there's fun games out there, but I've never really sat down to think like what could it be used for, and then how could you do it other than the educational side stuff, which I mainly focus on for like my client work and that. So trying to think outside the box and come up with something unique is it's so hard. I always come up with something unique is the hardest part. I think that just did it. Real create for corporate education. Yeah, it's good for that. Like that's what I do when I'm not doing the YouTube stuff. So I work with other companies and then build educational content and train simulations and stuff like that for them using mixed reality and augmented reality and stuff like that. And it's really good. We've done quite a bit with it. But when it comes to gaming, it feels a lot more limited for the AR stuff. Mainly because if you do multiplayer, it has to be done through the portals, which you need. Wait, there. I realize the music's probably clipping. There we go. Lighting. Do it fixing some lighting in this. Okay, cube map gives a bit more control. Directional light, point you in there. And then now, stationary, that should be fine. File, save all. What I'm gonna do is delete those. Keep light mass importance volume. Oh, we could keep a nav mesh because we could have something run on it. And then we can create that build out. Did I not build? So we fixed the lighting. That's cool. I'm gonna build lighting again, so it might take a second. Hopefully it doesn't crash though. Few things, guys. Go lighting. Cool. Do I can't do poke a hole material because it doesn't bloody work in this version. We make it work. And do you have full VR right now, or are you Windows looking at the VR world through use of stencil masking? No. So I did explain this earlier in the stream. I'm using these things here called cut hole labels. So I basically say I've got wall art. I want this to be cut out of this procedural mesh, and then I make sure that the wall art wall face is set to no fallback, or at least no fallback for the wall, the doors, and the window frames. So what it does is it actually cuts a hole out of the geometry for me, and then I don't have to worry about any of that. So it's basically down to the user. If they put more holes on their walls or more paintings, it's going to have more holes in the wall. But I'm going to do a full tutorial series for YouTube and Patreon members, which will be coming out next week over on Patreon. So if you want to see how to do that in more depth, then it'll be worth dropping by there. And then show you how to do all of that. Because if you're doing render targets and stuff like that, you can absolutely obliterate your frame rate. Same as stencil masking, so there's absolutely no reason to do it. Hope that helps. So you have no pass-through and delay behind it. I do, but it's shown up black for you guys. So you can't see it because it's rendered to the headset directly, but it's on there. So anything that's black when I press play here, so if I press play and let it load up for you. Once I've activated the sensor, there we go. So anything black that you see here, I can see my physical room and my monitor and my space. And then I can see through the window. Hopefully that makes sense. But the poke material, poke material itself is apparently broken in this version of the meta stuff. So let me find. Find it. Here we go. So, known issues. Where is it? Here it is. GPU scene doesn't work correctly with VR Preview, which is what I'm using here, and generic Android Vulkan Preview platform in some cases. Pass-throughs poke a hole material, so movable objects are to known cases. So basically, it doesn't render it properly. So need to keep that in mind. We just moved some changes in UE5.5 to try meta sample that they get when you use the meta fork of UE. They have a VR look through a window done by using stencil masking. You can do the stencil masking, but like I said, in this case, you don't really need it. It just works a lot better. It means that the player is control of where those holes are. Like if you, as the developer, want to draw them and place them around, you can do. Or you could just have it in the scene where you create a mesh and then you have a poke hole material. But yeah. Nice. You're gonna put me in the credits this time. You might have done it by now, so I might have missed it. So apologies if you did. But the last video, not stream, I watched. I was looking for my name in the credits. Yes. Didn't see it. Picture on the What was the last video that I put up? I can't remember what last video I uploaded. To be fair, it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. And for the Patreon stuff, when it's a Patreon series, I don't really put the end credits in those because it just saves time. Not just saves time, but it also makes it so you can finish and you go straight to the next video. It'll skip over, especially on the Patreon and the YouTube members. But for actual YouTube videos, I'll be going through and putting names in, yeah. So sorry about that. But I do have I'm going to have a post coming out on next week explaining a couple of things, what's going on with Patreon and what I've been doing, and then going from there. But yeah, it's got some fun stuff in it. You're using scene data for it as well, but maybe I just need to look at your what you've done in this project. I was under the impression for testing that the way they did it, there was the stencil was the only way to get a view inside VR Effect. This might be new to 5.5, but for what we're doing here, it works fine. Cool. So what we could do is, let's say, blueprint class actor BP underscore window. What I could do like we're not going to build a full game. I'm just playing around with stuff in this one, so just keep that in mind. Why are we still snapping? There we go. Let's see if we can do this. What I want to do, I'm going to spawn a world. Window frame, we've got no fallback. So what I can do is I can do an actor, spawn this in, and see if we can actually see it on our window. Scale the cube. That's a bit wrong. No scaling. Center on center. Let's go. There we go. Put some collision on them. Make it so I'm locked in my own room. Once I get removes collision through here. Let's load up the window. I want to see if I can do something. I want to see what happens. Procedural mesh would be better. get it? Character. Cool. What I could do... make a new one. I'm not worried about keeping this tidy. Simple. Cool. A while since I've done AI. Don't need character. Delete you. Window. See, this is where get random would be handy. Play window. No. Destination. Let's do that. Self. Yeah, all that's a class. People in school window. Yes. Let's just get the first one because we've only got one window in this one. And then what we do is get. This is going to be AP window. You. let's try that. I have no idea if they're going to move. Rerunning the nav mesh. Let's have a look. I have no idea what's going to happen. Nothing. It's because it's not plugged into anything. Huh. Cool. I was surprised by how fast they moved. It's been so long since I did anything AI related. There we go. Let's stack up. They don't go to the window, they kind of run straight to me. Oh, it's not right then. It would be handy if I put the arrow on visible to see if it's actually inside the room or outside. That was scary. It is when they're running at you that fast. Arrow's in the right place. That material, arrow shows up as. A happy little accident. I wonder what the difference between an arrow and a normal texture is. Nope, now I can't see it. Strange. In the headset, the arrow shows up correctly with pass-through on it, but the rest of it doesn't. So it's something to do with the poker hole material. So I was just wondering whether there's anything in here. That could be used to make it clear. Pretty sure this is movie music. Recognize it. And okay. There's no point in playing around with that anyway, it's just a waste of time. I always say that, and then I'm going back to playing around with things. I need to make sure I set this back to whatever it was by default, because if I don't, then it updates on all the projects. It's just weird that the arrow does the pass through, but the rest of it doesn't. Yeah, little people. I don't know where I'm going with this. I also don't know why I'm getting. Oh, it's probably this isn't spawned yet. This hasn't spawned yet, so it's calling an error, which I can test by doing like a 1 second delay. Where best should one start with mixed reality? I work at a studio and we want to start our first project. Is there a template for Unreal we can download and see an example of how to set up a project? Yes, if you go to the developer, Meta developer, so MetaQuest Developer Hub, and then you go to where is it? Downloads, SDKs, and then in here there's a whole bunch of options. So there's a bunch of different projects you can download and then try out. But yeah. But I also do outsourcing, so if you want to have a chat, you can drop me an email, and then we can have a talk and see if I can help you get started or set up or anything like that, if you need it. But basically, the developer hub, and then just the documentation on Meta is pretty much all you've got. Wonderful access. Do you have videos on how to install the certain apps and plugins to see it on Quest? I'm not too sure what you mean. I'll have tutorials coming out next week on how to set up the MetaXR plugin and install all of that, if that's what you're referring to. Ooh. Yeah. No, that's the right one. I guess if we need help, no worries. Hold your build video, but I can't get my Unreal file to the Quest. I think I'm missing something when building project. You're about the Android setup with the APK. I'm going to do a new video on that for 5.5. Getting it all built out. I'm going to do it on my laptop so I can completely write it and then go from there. Cool. But the Epic Games do have documentation on their page to show all that off. Get down. I don't think we have any animations. Just a character movement component. I haven't actually paid attention to see if they're actually walking. My character that I dragged in, isn't it? Yep. Movement components. I don't remember how I can make this guy move. I could just check the logic that we've already got. Blueprints, top-down character. And it's in the character controller, isn't it? There we go. Still doing good. So we're still a character, so it should work. Character, movement component. If I open that up. We are setting it. Samus, actually haven't had time to try out your template. Gonna hop into it tonight. Wicked. I did an update this week, the beginning of this week, so it's now pretty much sorted solid. So we've got that. Movement component, get current acceleration. We need to find out whether that's actually printing anything. Good to see something print out here. No. So get current acceleration isn't doing anything. Get current acceleration. Vic Games, hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Current acceleration. It's firing anything. If we are getting an acceleration, what we can do is we can pass this through to the animation blueprint. But we're not. Why are we not getting... Why is that character movement not getting a... I thought this would affect it. Let's go. Now they're moving. Oh. It's not much, but it's fun. I need them to be able to break the window when they get there. Break the window when they get there. We've got an hour. We've got an hour for me to get something in there. And then we built a VR game in like 2.5 hours. Right. On success, what could we do? I don't have time to retarget animations or anything like that. We needed to destroy the window. So we need some kind of health. Variables. Float. Rename. So the window's going to have health. We can set this to be hidden in game. Go from there. And then what we can do is in this, we can do the same thing. Prevent any damage. We get health. We subtract from, let's just do it, subtract 10 from health. Window could have like 100 health. And then what we could do what I want to do is less than do select. If it's less than, I want to have different stages. So as the health drops, then we remove boards. We do float. Switch on in types. Nope. Dennis, hi. Excellent games. How am I? I'm good. I'm good. Life's been a bit mental lately. I'm going to do a post on next week explaining everything. But overall, not too bad. I'm getting back into it. The GDXR template is fully updated and out. Life's not too bad at the minute. Yeah. You can't find node select for your enum. You need to get reference to your of your enum, and then from that in you set the select. I know. I'm trying to do different health levels, which is what I was thinking. I was just trying to see if I could do away if like enum is less than. What I could do is try that. $50,100. Do okay. Let's just do print string anyway. Window get Gladiator, did you watch Breaking Bad? I did. It was a good show. Target window. Success. Target window. 3 seconds, we're going to apply damage to the window. Target window. What I'm going to try and do is do line trace per object, and then we get position. I'll do arrow for now. Start. Where's the arrow on us? That would work fine. Gray. More dynamic. Great results. Distance less than 20 units is going to be true, and then we can plug that into here. So as long as this is false and we are within 20 units, it means there's nothing between the enemy and the window, so then we can cause damage to the window. Pressuring. Apply damage to the window, PP window. Then we got this one, and that should tell us our damage. Not civil. I was using line traces for a project for a client the other day, and it was bugging out, but we'll try it now. Another component is not blueprint visible. Right. I'll just do the mesh then. Let's try. Cool. Little army coming towards us. We can shoot them. We get close enough. Do we get anything? No. Looping 3 seconds. Let's put that down to like. Applying damage. Oh, I'm not setting it. That didn't do anything. Apply damage to window fires, but the target window didn't do it. Let's have a look. Yay! Cool. Equal to 0. Game over. So we try this. Need a respawn system for them, guys. There we go. Cool. Oh, we got a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna try and blitz through this. We'll make something. Oh, all right. I also don't know why it's got bloom. We shouldn't be able to see any of that. Okay, so we got that. We need a new game mode. Duplicate. In menu, we don't want any pass-through content on this. It's going to be just a normal stuff. We don't need any grab. Cool. And then interaction right, which interaction on the left. What I could do. Duplicate. Let's go menu. And then we throw something together. We do our template, new folder, UMG. So main menu, border. Sorry guys, I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just blitzing through this to make something that we can put on Patreon and YouTube members. Box, border. I always like making them grey. Cool. Then we got our vertical box, text, and doesn't really matter about this. Do that one. Let's pretend it's a game called Survival. And then top 30, 50, 100. Here we go. All right, that's going to be our game name, and then we need a button. So we're going to do widget blueprint, use a widget blueprint underscore button master. Then this one is going to be a size. Button. Widget blueprint. Do there. Should be able to do auto and then change the scale width. Shouldn't be coming in so wide. There we go. Then should 200. Ah. 200. button text. And then what we can do is from here, we can do an event dispatcher. Button clicked, button clicked. That dispatcher. Then main menu, we've got start button, duplicate. That's going to be basically start, quit. And it's a credits. We don't need all of them set up anyway. And now if I go back into here, what we should be able to do is actually customize the button. Goes around the box. Excellent. 30, 30, 30. Let's make it like blood red. That's not blood red. Why is it pink? Is that my eyes? There we go. Oh wait, I always change the wrong one. And then it should update all of those. Text size 35. And we'll make it black. Cool. Now we've got a very terrible menu, which works fine for what we're after. The idea is that in our main menu, we duplicated the blueprint in here, widget menu, main menu, widgets. Hopefully, if I've done this right, I shouldn't have to set anything else up. World settings, game mode, main menu. Main menu needs our multiplayer. Hopefully, if I jump into this now, I should be able to actually set this up. I have an output. Bring there we go, clicked add. Good. Hopefully load into normal room. Okay, it's on our hand. But we've got that, which is fine. What I need to do in the game, the blueprint main menu, is on tick. Literally just bypass all of this. Well, come on, let me move you. There we go. We should stay where it's supposed to. Oh, we got a logic, point and click. Just need to make sure that we line ourselves up with it. But it's probably just because I'm way offset. I was going to say it's probably my room scale, but it's not. Ooh. Excellent. Move it up a bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it as well. I don't know why we have post-processing in this level. We shouldn't have any, but it seems like it's got blue. What the time? Half past. Okay. Yeah, we've got bloom on. I don't know why bloom's on. Oh. Template map, because that's the one that we were working with. And then hopefully, if I jump back in and we do this, load into our main menu. Menu is absolutely huge. Hit start. We load in, we got pass through, we got our characters. And then they come through. I don't know why it's just that one. When he stops, then it breaks the window. Oh. Access non-line trace by channel. Oh, it's colliding with itself. The property associated with mesh cannot be found. Shouldn't be mesh. There we go. Does everybody got something good on this weekend? You guys doing anything fun? Comes to us. We should see a line trace now, hopefully. That one's got a line trace, but the other two don't. Oh. Look for your videos. Good. That'll be helpful. Target window none. Where did I put the other map? Main menu. Not going to let me doing this. There we go. Speaking of line trace, I had asked on Discord how to do a pointer laser control with Unreal proper, something in the UMG widgets, but you all said said line trace is my best bet. Thing is, line trace sucks for that, or at least how I implemented it. We wouldn't have said line trace, we would have said widget interaction. So inside of VR1, there's a thing called a widget interaction component, which you can use to interact with UMG. It's already set up for you out of the box, but in the main VR template, there's a couple of things that it does. For example, when you start it up, it gets the widget interaction reference from the player, and it sets which one you're using through the pointer index. I don't really have time to go into this, but I do have a video on the channel breaking down the VR template and how it works. So it might be worth checking out. But you don't want to use line trace for UMG. It's kind of reinventing the wheel. But there is a widget interaction component which you can add onto anything. So widget interaction, which you can add here, and then allows you to interact with 3D widgets in your project. So that's going to be your best option. You think Unreal would make UMG part of the engine proper? It is. I'm not too sure what you mean. UMG is fully integrated into Unreal. It stands for Unreal Motion Graphics. And to set widget interactions up inside of VR, you just need a widget interaction component. It's all there for you. That's literally how I was able to set that main menu up so fast. Like, I created a menu, I copied the player, it's already set up for me, and I'm good to go. Big key, install AI, spot in there. How we do it? 20 minutes. Or 20 minutes, but need a little bit more time, less time than that, so I can actually upload it to Patreon and YouTube, and then let you guys download it. There. Hold it AI character. Let's just use a scene. That'll be fine. I don't think I need a reference to the spawned character. Spawner, so we get the character. Or we destroy it. It'll be fine. Not happy with this, but we're doing it. Or new AI. It should spawn 4 of them. Let's have a look. Three, 4. I don't know where my other hand went. A little while. Was I actually destroying it? I don't know if we're destroying it. No, a jumping gun. I don't know where it's gone. Line trace is the best option for this. That's cool. You just want to make sure that we actually take damage on the window. Is it? Hmm. To reach the destination. What? What's wrong? We're moving to it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Success. So it did do it. Have a look. So he's there. Right. Stop, then try again. But then the window's destroyed, so they're not going to move. Okay. Nice. Right, so what do we need now? Game over screen. And a way to ignore errors. Let's do that. See if that helps. Game over immediately. You imagine when they get to the window, you start playing an attack animation as well. Ooh. It's 6 minutes. I don't have time to do an event interface. Okay, spawn from class. Get. It will transform, plug that in there. Always spawn adjust location. Spawn a variable. Spawn game over screen. Take this. I've got the main menu. This is the one without. Yeah, we'll duplicate. Game over screen. UMG. Duplicate. Game over screen. Make that pop up. How's everyone doing? Is everybody keeping up? Kind of blitzing it. How's it going? Let's do restart. You think a real with that? Okay. Menu. And quit to menu would have like exit to game, so that's fine. Restart. Open level be a template, that's fine. Menu. On clicked. Open main menu. That allows us to go back and forth. So we can do that. I also need to do game over screen. Game over, man. Let's do that. Game over screen. Let's try that. Okay. 3 minutes. So we should ideally see a game over screen spawn in front of us somewhere. Unless call it game over. window. Yeah, player. We shouldn't be using a cast, should be using an interface, but we don't have time. Cast to VR pawn. Why can't I cast to VR pawn? Oh, it's a pawn class, that's why. I'm so used to working with the GDXR template. Game over. That. I've got a feeling in here. Get this 180. Just get spawn in. There we go. Gotta be a menu around here somewhere. In it? Spawn. It might be spawning really small. So time. That's the problem. Like I needed just a little bit longer. Oh. There we go. Right. So it is spawning. It's just really big. Okay. Basically, game over doesn't work very well. Okay, everyone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to disconnect the game over. Comment. Oh. This Christmas music is playing. Sound of silence. I get demonetized. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. If anybody wants this, I'll zip it up and I'll make it available for YouTube members and Patreon members. And I'll set it up so you guys can download it. And I'll get that up in the next. I'll try and get it by later today because I've got to go out and then I've got to run some errands as well. So I'm pretty much out of time to get that done. Wingman, hi people, happy streaming. How did Jonathan deal with AR lighting? I can't get it right. I left lighting as it is. Literally left the lighting as it is. I'm just using built-in lighting from the scene. That's pretty much it. All right, I've zipped it up. We're gonna leave it there. I'll rename the stream as building a VR game in like 2.5 hours, and then I'll get that uploaded as well, which we can jump into. Wait a minute, stream ending. It is. I gotta go. I've already overshot my time, but I'm gonna try and get some more videos done for next week and possibly do a stream on Monday, depending on how things go. I pretty much got Monday booked out for one-to-one tutoring sessions with people through Patreon, so I'll see how that goes and see how much time I've got, and then we'll go from there. Awesome. All right, everyone. I will see you all later on, and thank you so much for dropping by. Make sure to check out the Discord. It's been a bit quiet in there. Need more people? Check it out. Link should be in the description. Bye.